How to record your DJ sets is one of the most asked questions we get from all DJs, especially when using CDJs. Is this box the answer? This is Density, and unlike traditional methods that record audio directly, Density captures every detail of your set. The button presses, loops, knob turns, cue points, and using effects. No more worried about clipping, distortion, or missed recordings. Density records it all, but with a twist, it captures the data, not the audio. Let's say you've recorded a mix. The levels were off, you've messed up a couple of transitions, or you played an unreleased track that you're not ready to share. What if you could go back, edit and perfect your set without ever losing the magic of your live performance? There are two ways that you can record your mix. You can use the Density hardware that I have here, or you can use your laptop, which will probably only be practical if you're recording at home or in a studio setup. It is quite literally plug and play. With the cables provided, just connect via a link cable to a network hub and connect the USB to the decks, and the hardware will automatically start recording when you start mixing. A nice feature is it will not record anything until you start mixing. When you're ready to refine your set, just open up the Density door, locate your audio files, and watch as your entire mix is recreated perfectly. It's like having a Word document for your set. Every track, every transition, editable at mastering grade quality. It's also worth noting that Density is a standalone software, so even if you don't have decks, you can edit a mix inside of this door. So opening up the Density door, once you've located where your tracks are, it will then give you a project that looks similar to this. And anybody that's used Final Cut Pro or Ableton, you'll be familiar with how this looks. So I've got like 3 tracks here that I've done very quickly in a mix. I've tried to use loads of effects. I've tried to make the mix not quite in time, just so we can go through a few fixes with inside. But here, basically, I've got 3 tracks mixed together. We've got track 1 here, track 2 here, and track 3. And you've basically got 2 separate window views. You've got this view here that we're already on, which you can see 3 tracks. And then you've got the detail view, which is this, which might look super scary, but it's pretty simple when you dive into it. So here, we've got this track here, Nasty, Tinashe, Flash Mob, Edit. So this above here, this blue color, this is the whole track. Below, you have then got all of your different features and knobs and effects that are on the mixer, which are on our mixer, our Pioneer mixer. So we've got the trim, we've got the volume, we've got the high, the mid, the lows. Then we've got down here effects. And then at the side, we've got here where we can add effects as well from our Nexus mixer. All of these are from the Nexus. So if I press play, here, you can hear our track is playing. And here is where all of the button twists and effects that I've used. You can see here, you've got reverb, so you can see. Then I've added a crush. And then here is where our mix starts to happen. So if we zoom in and listen to this mix as it's coming in, I've tried to keep this mix a little bit out of time so we can fix it in post. So you can hear it's not quite on beat. So it's a very simple fix. So if you're used to using Recordbox or Serato or any DJ software, you'll know that the mix needs to be on the downbeat, and you can see here that this downbeat is a little bit off, so we need to move it. So all you need to do is put your play head to the downbeat, click set, and it should move everything perfectly in time. Now that mix sounds great. What I want to show you is, if we go into our detail view, we have these transition presets. Now, here you can see that I'm ducking the highs and I'm ducking the mids to get a really kind of simple transition. But let's say our mix was a little bit harsh. Let's say it sounded a little bit like this. So let's say that sounded a little bit harsh. What you can do is you can apply one of these transition presets, or you can manually do it yourself as well. So you can go to bass swap, and you can see it's edited the automation here, where it's basically swapping out this bass. You can see it's bringing in bass here and dropping bass here. You can have a smooth mix where they sort of go gradually over time. And then what you can do is, you can see here, I've got a reverb down here. If I want to add in a reverb to the end to give it a bit of a different transition, I can just click on these dots and then increase this reverb level, right? So if I go on this, you can hear that reverb. If I solo it, you can go up here, click on solo. You can see you can get really, really particular about your transitions. So one amazing thing about this as well is you can do loads and loads of editing and moving around loops and moving around tracks without destroying the other parts of the mix. So if we zoom out here, you can see that I've got 3 tracks, but let's say that I wanted to move this mix back in time or forward. I just drag this across, but you can see that the bottom track stays exactly where it is. So it doesn't affect any part of the mix. It doesn't destruct any of your mix further. What you can also do is, let's say that I wanted to extend this section, extend this last section to keep the mix going. I can basically highlight it, so drag over this section so it goes like a light blue color. And then it will give you this option here at the side, which is a loop option. Once you've selected a loop option, you get this little icon at the side here, which you can just drag across, and then I can just infinitely loop it. And then I can go into my automation settings, and then I can adjust this. I can do one of the transition presets, and then I can turn this reverb down a little bit here. And then I might want to just drag this out a little bit further. Drag this out a little bit more. So there, it's gone a little bit harsh, hasn't it? So we can come down here, we can go to the volume, we can click and add 2 lines in this volume, and then just drag the volume down over time so that we get a little bit more of a cleaner mix. And then we sound great and into our next track. So you can see how quickly and how easily you can start to edit tracks. Not only that, you can also add in tracks that aren't even in the mix, or we can delete tracks. So let's say that this track by Sammy Vergi, we've uploaded it to Mixcloud or SoundCloud and it's been flagged for copyright, or we just don't want to release it. It's maybe you're a producer and you have an unreleased track that you don't want to put out there yet. Basically, you can go to the tracks at the side here. You've got a track list. And if I just click on Sammy Vergi and click on X, I might zoom out a little bit so you can see what's happening. If I just click off Sammy Vergi, what happens is it will drag this next track, which is a Bob Marley edit, into the position ready for a clean mix. So now if we listen, so now what we can do if we're not in time, you can see here these blue lines are our downbeat. So we can just drag that across and you can see I moved it in time perfectly. So if we go back now, and we're like, okay, we want to get rid of this section. We just click on it, delete it. We want to remove the reverb from this. Let's go into our extended view. We've got a bit too much reverb, and let's turn down the volume so it's a bit smoother. Now let's listen to this transition. sounding pretty clean. Then let's say you want to extend this mix, right? You want to go to here where it says add tracks. You're just going to go to add tracks, and then we'll find another track that we can just add into this mix. Let's go with this Clooney edit. Click open, and it will basically automatically put it somewhere where it thinks it might sound good. Now you need to go and edit this, and again, you can use your transition presets. Just select the track. Let's click on a transition preset. Let's click on a smooth transition, and we can go in here into our detail view and kind of see what's happening here. So you can see here that it's done a good job of the mix, but it's just too long. So we just want to delete this section. All of these sections, should just highlight them. Delete that. So let's just say for this transition, we want to add a little bit of echo, or we want to just make it a little bit more smooth, turn the volume down, maybe cut the highs, cut the mids, just so it's a nice... sounding super clean. So you can see how easy it is to go in and edit your mixes. One thing I want to bring to your attention is at the top here, you've got this LUFS meter, which is a one of a kind in this kind of DAW. So basically, if I just go to Analyze Set, it's gonna show me where the loud parts are, and it's gonna apply a limiter. So basically what you're doing is you are mastering your mix. So once you've done all your edits, it will then add a limiter, which is here. And it will give you a master grade quality of your mix, which I think is one of the most impressive things about this. You can see here in the LUFS meter, it's actually turned down the levels here to provide a really clean master grade mix for the end product. Finally, to export your set, you just go to Export Set, and wherever you want to save it, let's go Mix 1 into your downloads, and it will render and it will export, and then you've got a master grade quality perfect mix ready to upload and publish how you will. Currently, this is for professional DJs who use Pioneer DJ/Alpha Theatre products. Here's a list of all the compatible products so you can see who this product is aimed at. And if you want to learn more about CDJs, maybe you want to transition from your controller or master how to use CDJs on a pro level, I'll leave a link to our CDJ Masterclass course in the description and in the video. Let's talk about price. So this is available now, it is out and you can go and buy it. You can download the software today. It is $15 a month for the software, which I think is pretty reasonable. And you can use it standalone. Remember, you don't actually need this hardware box. If you do have an XZ or some CDJs at home, you can plug in via a network hub and start recording your mixes at home or in your studio. The hardware box comes in at $300, which depending on who you are, may be quite expensive, maybe it's not, but again, this is aimed at professional DJs, working DJs, so you might want to spend the extra money to have this in your DJ bag, carrying it around, ready to record all of your DJ sets. One thing that I want to mention is the build quality of this thing is incredible. This has been battle tested at some of the world's biggest festivals like EDC and Burning Man. It's durable, reliable, and simple to use because the last thing you want to worry about is whether your set is being recorded properly. That brings me on to who is this box for? In my opinion, it is for a DJ who cares about quality, perfection, and the process of creating a mix. I love the practical nature of being able to remove a track that may have been flagged for copyright or that is unreleased. I also love the thought of tweaking certain transitions without destructing the whole mix. What do you think? Is this finally the product that you have been looking for? Or is this thing just too niche? Let me know in the comments. And if you want some more CDJ content, just check out this video right here.